Welcome to Crime and Wine. I'm Pamela Fagan Hutchins, your host, and this is the show where I talk with other crime fiction writers about the stories of thrills and suspense that will leave you mystified, sometimes horrified, and always wanting more. Please join me in welcoming today's special guest. Hello, you guys. It's Pamela. You knew that. You're watching Crime and Wine. I am super excited in a second to introduce you to a guest who I'm meeting for the first time today, but have been aware of for many, many years. And I am thrilled to have her on the show. But I have to tell you, very obnoxiously first, you know this if you've been watching for the last few weeks, that I had a rather big book launch of 3 books, Detective Delaney Pace, in Her Silent Bones, Her Hidden Grave, and Her Last Cry. You guys have been extremely kind in going out and reading it and reviewing it and saying nice things about it. Please don't stop. Take that and keep running with it. I'm with no further ado and nothing more about my books. I do want to introduce you guys to Willow Rose. Welcome to the show, Willow.
Thank you.
It is. I was telling Willow before we got on that I've known who she is for years because there's this thing on Amazon. You guys have probably seen it, where when you look at a book, there'll be ads on the page that are basically like, if you like this book, you're really going to like this other book. And my husband kept saying, who the heck is this Willow Rose? That's how I came to read your books. And I loved it. It was wonderful. Thank you for doing that. It worked. The ads worked. I read your books.
That's usually what happens.
If I was your target market, you hit it out of the park. And so you have a brand new series out. This is Billie Ann Wilde. You want to tell us a little bit about Billie Ann?
Our show.
Yay, it's beautiful. I love that cover. Those
colors. I do too. I didn't make it myself, so the publisher. Yeah, so I really love it too. Yeah. No, it's a new series that I started writing it actually almost a year ago. But I've been wanting to write it for some time. And I've so far written 3 books, and the first one came out on Friday. The second book will be out in March, and then the third one out this summer, I think. So we're still working on that one.
Yeah, I don't think readers realize with these the thirst they have for the books that you read, that means that by the time they get a book in their hands, you're several down the road, but still working on those books practically till the moment they get them. I mean, it's endless. You write pretty fast.
I do. Yeah, I do. I usually publish like 5-6 books a year.
Girl, that is amazing. I think that I'm badass. I've done 5 one time and it nearly killed me. And right now I'm on a 4-book pace and feeling sorry for myself. So I think that's pretty awesome. So now you've written several books, a lot of books. What for you makes Billie Ann special or different from other series that people have loved in the past, and why are they going to love Billie Ann?
I just love her, first of all, because I think she's badass. Second of all, it's the first time I really write something very personal in my main character. Billie Ann has just realized that she is gay, and she has been married for like 18 years, I think it is, and has children with her husband, and has been thinking about this for years, and finally admitted to herself and to her husband that this is who she is now. And this is something I went through. I've been going through the last couple of years. I was married for 20 years, and I have 2 children. And all of a sudden, some years ago, I think like 3, maybe 4 years ago, I started realizing that something's off, and maybe it always has been. So I came to the realization that, oops, I'm gay.
How incredibly wonderful that you were able to, number one, figure out for yourself who you are and be able to be true to yourself and who you are, but also that you then are able to bring such authenticity and something so deep and emotional to a character who is so badass. I mean, you guys, I did the book on audio. You all know I'm an audio, basically, I'm obsessed with audio, and I reviewed it for NetGalley for audio, and you really, really love Billie, not only because she is, as Willow said, she's a badass. I mean, I'm not going to tell you the ending. Well, the girl's badass, but because she bears her soul to you, the reader, in this book, and risks everything. Her job, her relationship with her kids, her friendship with the husband, and the love they've shared, and all of that just right before your eyes. And it's just like, ooh, gets you right in the feels. So even though you're reading this book that is fast paced and murdery, it's very murdery. That's what we like. It also gets that. So I was very impressed.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, and it was hard to write because I had just gone through a lot of it and all the emotions. But that's also what I like to do. I like to write about. That's how I deal with my feelings often, is to put it into characters, give them situations that are similar, and then that's how I sort of deal with it and figure out how I'm going to react to things and how to deal with stuff. So
you try it out on Billie Ann first, then go, hey, that seemed to work for her.
Yeah,
that shot.
And that's a good way to get because all the feelings about the husband and how you feel guilty because you feel like you've betrayed him, or it's been a deceit all along. The whole marriage is a scam, and because that's the question they ask, like, was it all just fake? But it's not. It's just that I didn't know.
And she had a line, I'm going to get it wrong because now I'm just going off memory, not knowing this was going to be what we talked about. So you guys, this is an authentic conversation. That at one point when he says, were you always lying to me? She says, well, if I was lying to myself first. Yeah. And it really hits you, that whole idea of, yes, he's hurting, but look how much more she's hurt herself in the process, and that you're choosing between the lesser of all evils, with this. And it rang very, very, very true. So
I'm glad it did. I usually compare it with like people who walk through life and they need glasses, but they don't have them. And then they can see, but it's not really clear. But when they put on the glasses, they're like, oh, now I understand. Now I see.
It all now becomes clear. Yes. I was kind of fuzzy on it.
That's how it felt for me when I realized it. I was like, oh my God, now everything makes sense.
Everything in my life. And with all this going on, I'm going to say it doesn't affect her ability to be a badass and fight crime, because she's still out there doing her thing while she's juggling so many people's emotions and expectations and disappointments and fears, etc.
Yes.
She just has to walk out that door and still be Billie Ann Wilde.
Yeah, exactly.
But she does
deal with her colleagues who, in that line of work, it can be a little difficult to be gay.
Absolutely. I mean, not only is it a man's world, right? We're talking law enforcement, guys. So we're talking about it's a place for tough people and people that can sometimes treat each other fairly harshly and be fairly hard on women, and even harder on people that are different in other ways, like being gay. So yeah, Billie Ann has a lot to wade through. So with respect to the plot in the first book, how do you keep coming up with these plots that are complex and scary as hell and fun to read? Where do you get your ideas?
From everything and everywhere. People, we go out, we talk to people, they tell me their story, or meet people at a bar, or people at a dinner table, or I just read something. It shows up, on Facebook in my news feed, or I follow the news closely and I see, oh, okay, this is an interesting story. It's crazy as heck, but it could be a good book. So
yeah, isn't it weird how you think, I'm never going to be able to come up with the really horrible things people do that'll make there be plausible motivation for my detective to risk everything to solve this crime. And then it's like, oh, I just read it in the news. Yeah, they are that sick.
Exactly. And it's sometimes reality really is way worse than what I could come up with.
Yeah. And do you feel like sometimes you have to tone it down for the page, or do you just let it go?
Because otherwise people go, this is unrealistic. And that's also why I always put the links at the end of the book to the stories that inspired me, because then people can go see it actually happened, not in the exact same way, but it something similar has happened.
Yeah, I love that. That's a really good idea. So when you are sitting down, for instance, to write Billie Ann, I love that name, by the way. It's a good Southern name. The books are based in Florida. Yes. So there's that good Southern, swampy feel to it.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And I love how that she is in this environment. It's the Deep South. So again, we're getting into, it's not just a cop, but it's Deep South, and really a challenging environment to be her authentic self. But it just absolutely rang completely true. And I love that you're able to tie people back to those real stories. Do you ever feel like that your characters are telling you the story, that you think it's going one direction, and that as you flesh out a character, that they're like knocking on your head going, oh, you had it wrong?
Oh yeah, that happens a lot. That's happened. I have all these ideas when I start writing, and the end of when I sit with the book afterwards, is never what I intended it to be, because things happen, and yeah, people change.
Do you find yourself somebody that sits down and does a really thorough outline about how you expect it to go, or do you just dive in?
I do an outline, but not a thorough one.
Yeah.
I usually write just like, I want to say the first 25 chapters or something, just in brief words, what I kind of want to, where are we going with this chapter, where are we going with this chapter. But it's only like the first 25, and after that I kind of just let the story unfold. But I always know where I'm going. I always know what the end is going to be, where we're going to land. A lot can happen in between, oh yes, but I know where we're going to land.
We are aiming for this shore. Have you ever had the bad guy change midstream?
Oh yeah, I actually often do that. This is a little secret of mine, that I often start writing thinking there's like 3 possible villains, 3 possible that it could be. And then like halfway through the book, I go, okay, now I got to decide who is it.
Exactly.
I have this thing that if I don't know, then the reader won't know either, So yeah, that's just me. But
I think it's a fun way to do it. The second to last book that I wrote, the third one in this, we write right now for the same publisher. You'll find authors write in a lot of different spaces, but right now Willow and I are occupying, part of our world is occupying the same space. And so the last book in the series that I just put out, I didn't know until I wrote the chapter who I was going to pick, because I'd done that whole, it's going to be someone in this universe of people, and I'm going to write it as if it could be any of them up until the end, and then I'm going to figure out when they figure out. So
yes, and I think that works really well, because people can guess it because you didn't know when you wrote it. So
yeah, I love it. And now with the comments that are coming in, I meant to tell you, we had one a minute ago that one of the listeners has a cat named Willow Lavender Rose.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's very cool.
I have 2 cats too.
We had a cat in the background a minute ago. Maybe your cat will come back through.
That was Titus. He's a troublemaker.
So you've got a cat. Do you have
2 cats and a dog? Yeah.
2 cats and a dog. Do they get along?
Yes, they do. They really love each other. It's weird, but the dog is a golden doodle. He's like, he has no temper. He just wants to lay and relax and hang. And they jump him and they do all kinds of stuff, and he doesn't even care. He's just
those golden doodles are like the sweetest animals on earth. It's like they really eat all the poodle out of them.
yes. Oh yeah, I love him so much.
Then we also have Charlene Zalkap. I've been meaning to ask Charlene how to say her last name. So phonetically spell that in a comment for me before I say it wrong. It could be Capotis, Capodici, it could be, I don't know. So anyway, tell us in phonetically how you spell it. But she says she's looking forward to reading it. You're going to enjoy it, Charlene. It's very, very fast paced. It is, it's one where you've got to use a lot of brain as the detective, but you've also got to use a lot of brawn. She's got to come out strong. So you're going to love those elements about it. And with respect to the next 2 books in the series, do you plot your series out in advance? Do you do a multi-book arc with them? Or are you pulled off to see how the first one goes?
I like to have like a bigger story arc for the main character. But not one that if you just read the one book, then that's fine. You'll be fine. But I like to hint something that comes back in the next book and the next, because you want to, first of all, often those stories are way too big to put in a little book.
Yes.
Second of all, you want people to keep reading, so it's nice for them to be curious. I wonder what that was about. Why was she fighting with her brother? And stuff like that.
Yeah, because so often they're reading, as much as they love the fast-paced, thrilling, murdery books, they also fall in love with Detective Billie Ann Wilde, and they fall in love with the other characters, and they're tuning in to see, as she solves the next crime, what shit are her kids going to be up to?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that one I never know. They're my own children.
Yeah, exactly. Is she going to find love? Okay. And Charlene says it's capitis. Thank you, Charlene. You're very nice to give us that little hint. Yes, go definitely check out Willow's books. She has some for you to choose from. So now we're going to play the game, or go into the part of this chat where I ask you some of the same questions I ask other crime fiction authors. And I'm going to let the readers get a glimpse into how you are like or not like them. So, so first of all, easy one, sushi or pizza?
It's actually hard for me because I like both. But if I have to choose, then I'll say pizza.
Okay. We had someone once, I think it was Michelle Chenard. Chenard may have said that she liked to eat her sushi with her pizza, but that's a little too far for me. It's a little gross.
No.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. We've already talked plotter or pantser. I'm going to say you kind of are a little of both.
Yeah.
Plotter or pantser. Do you have like a certain vibe, like a place you write or an outfit that is your writing kind of go-to clothes, or?
Mostly just a tank top and maybe yoga pants. It's Florida. It's warm all year round. So
yeah. So now your accent is not Floridian.
No, it's true. I'm from Denmark originally. I've lived here 15 years now. So
I was in Fredericia, Denmark last year for months. My husband had a assignment there, and so we were bouncing around Denmark and really enjoyed it. We loved Copenhagen. And
what time of year?
It was winter.
Oh,
but we live in Wyoming, so we were like, "Where's the?"
Oh, yes, you're used to it. Okay, yeah. Because that's one of the reasons I moved. It was just I can't stand the darkness.
Yeah. The darkness was. We have a lot of family in Sweden, and we've always managed to end up visiting in November. And they're like,
it's the worst month.
That's the worst month. Why are you here?
Yeah, because it's so dark. And in December, that's, you'll at least have Christmas and candle lights and Christmas lights and something to look forward to. But like November, there's just nothing but rain.
Yeah. Come in July. Come for midsummer,
Yes. The summers are great. The summers are great. I mean, they're not warm, but they're nice and beautiful.
Do you get back? Do you get back to Denmark?
I usually go back like in the summer. I'm actually going back for Easter too. My youngest son has taken a year to go to a school in Denmark.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's 16, so he took 10th. He's taken 10th grade there. So I'm going to go visit him and see. It's a theater school, so where they live on the school and stuff. So he's having a lot of fun, and they actually just went to Norway on a skiing trip. So yeah, he's having fun. But I miss him so much, so I have to go see him for Easter.
Yeah, it's very hard. My husband and I are a second marriage with his and her kids, but his middle daughter went away to swim elsewhere for a year, and it just nearly broke him. It's like you want them to fly and chase their dreams, but you're like, that was a precious year of your childhood. I will never get back.
Exactly. It is. And I'm so happy that he's having fun, but oh my God, my heart.
Yeah, totally. So our Swedish family, every time they come to the U.S., they're like, we don't want to visit you in Wyoming. We want to go to Florida. So I laugh when they want the heat. I don't want the heat. I want the sunshine. So anyway, we digress. But all right. So it is. It's happy hour. Does Billie Ann or Willow? What would you be ordering? Either one. We can get in character. We can stay author.
Yeah, I mean, a good Cosmo is always, or Prosecco. We like the bubbles.
Yeah, the bubbles are good. The bubbles are good. And if you won the lottery, what would be the first few things you'd spend your winnings on?
Well, first of all, I think I would actually, give some money to my relatives. And then I would probably go travel the world, go on like a cruise and travel around, or just travel and write books wherever I went. And that's actually my dream to do. Go 2 months to Australia or something like that, and then just write a book there that takes place there.
That you need to hang out with my husband and I for a year. Then last year I wrote a book in Denmark, and this year I wrote in California, and this year I'm going to be writing a book in France because we go to France next. So just come with us.
That sounds amazing. That's exactly what I want. As soon as the kids, take off, then that's what I want to do.
Exactly. Well, we had to wait for the kids, before it was like, hi, honey, I'm back for a day and I'm leaving for another trip, and you're here with the kids. So have fun. Okay. So which part of writing would you say you enjoy most? First draft, research or the rewrite?
Oh, first draft.
First draft?
Yeah, I love just writing and just getting pretty, because I always spend a lot of time thinking about the book before I start doing it. And I always wait until I'm about to explode. And I just have to start writing. I have to get it out.
Yeah.
So it always goes really fast. And I'm so excited because I've been thinking about this story. Sometimes I lay awake at night thinking about it. And I'm so ready. So I just need it out. And I love it. Love that feeling of just creating something. Rewriting, not so much. That's not, I hate it.
You know, I right now in this book, I can relate. I'm having a creative release and I don't have it often. I'm like, this sucks. I hate it. I want the rewrite where I can see that it's not going to suck. But this one book, I feel that way. I can totally see that. Mitzi wants you to know she's in Florida too, and that it's 70 tomorrow.
Hi, Mitzi.
And I think that she's just trying to make people in Denmark feel bad when she says
that. I do that all the time. So.
I meant to tell you that I actually have a good friend from Denmark that lives in Wyoming. Funny story. She decided that she wanted to move to America and marry a cowboy. And so by God, when she was 18 years old, she did.
Wow, that's a good story.
She's a horse trainer. She's a horse trainer, a country musician, all these cool things. She breeds dogs, raises dogs. She's like, I'm living the dream. So anyway, shout out to Christina. Nice. Mitzi says both of you have so much energy. Thank you. Thank you. This is a totally off script question. And I'm looking at the time and we're close to wrapping up. I swore that I would never let these shows go so long that no one was commenting anymore. But when you are in the creative zone, you are a fast writer. About how many words do you write a day?
I write around 5,000 words a day.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I think I must take longer breaks between books than you. I give myself really long breaks. I'm going to be honest.
I don't really do that. I don't feel good if I'm not writing.
Yeah.
I feel restless. I start cleaning up and my kids go, what's going on? Why are you vacuuming all of a sudden? And I just know I have to write. I have to start again, start a new book. So then I would rather take like a couple of days off after I start a new one, as long as I know that it's there and I started it.
Yeah, that it's not out in the ether and you're going to miss grabbing it because you moved away. You know,
and for some reason, I'm always scared that it's going to stop, that I can't come up. Even if I have so many stories in my head, and then the more I write, the more I get, I feel like I'm always scared. What if I can't write another book?
Yeah. The idea will never come again. Like I sit down my editor was like, okay, pitch the next 3 books. And I was like, well, I may not be able to think of stories. You understand? Maybe the last book I ever wrote was the last one I gave to you. It's always possible. And by Monday, it was like, I have 6. Do you want 3? Did you mean 6? But it's a really, really, really cool thing. So Charlene Capides says this was so much fun. Thank you both, which is a great prompt for us to say, thank you guys out there. Yeah. It was, and Willow, thank you. It's been a long time coming to meet you as I like virtually stalked you on my book pages on the internet, and I've enjoyed it so much.
That's wonderful. I had a great time.
You guys go and check out Detective Billie Ann Wilde, and the first book in the series is Don't Let Her Go. You can learn more about Willow at her website. Is there a best place that you would want to direct people who love to follow authors? So the best place to see you either on social media or learn things about your website?
I mean, I have a mystery group if anybody wants to join that.
Tell us.
It's called Willow Rose Mystery Group, I think. I don't really participate. I write sometimes in there, but mostly I let people, talk about the books and have fun with that.
Yeah. So, is that a Facebook group?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you guys go check out Willow Rose Mysteries on Facebook. And Willow, I look forward to the next one. And I'll see you on down the road.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you guys, I have to, go through the obligatory how to find out information about the last shows and the next shows, which is at my website, PamelaFaganHutchins.com. It never hurts my feeling if while you're there, you check the books out too. Got them in all the formats. I forgot to ask Willow what her favorite format was, but mine's audio, but I got large print, whatever you need. And finally, Crime and Wine. Wait. I'm out of the halo zone here. For those of you that are watching with my fake background, if I move my hand too far, it disappears. So here we go. Scout's Honor. Crime and Wine is a solely owned and copyrighted production of Authors on the Air Global Radio Network, a digital media corporation with over 4 million viewers and listeners in 153 plus countries. I got it. See you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in again with me. I think you are the greatest. Now let's see how well I do this outro. 3, 2, 1. Thanks for joining us today on Crime and Wine, chats with crime fiction authors and Pamela Fagan Hutchins. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll check back in with us next time for more thrills, suspense, and stories that will mystify, sometimes horrify, and always leave you wanting more.